Okay, let's look at our agenda for the day. You should have picked up the paper on the table. We're going to go over warm-up 42 in just a minute. There was a skills practice we started on Thursday on area of circles. Area of circles. If you did not finish that, I don't know that we got very much of a start. Some of the other classes they finished. You are finishing it front and back. If you don't have that paper, see a teacher and we'll find it for you. Make sure that you turn it in and get it checked. Then you are going to work on the circles worksheet. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Front and back. This is due for a grade on Friday. Since it's Tuesday, I'm not going to give you the regular weekly homework for this week. But this circle sheet that we're about to talk about, if you don't finish it in class today, you have to finish it on your own and turn it in for a grade by Friday. So that is your homework this week. That should also give you a chance to get caught up on some IXLs and to make some corrections on some papers. Questions about homework? No. So do you have homework? Yes, it's finishing this sheet. It's just not the regular homework sheet. Okay? If you need a calculator to work on it, then you need to come to lunch tutoring on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, let's look at the warm-up. Emerson is starting a new business. Product A cost her $26.50. She decides to mark the product up 30%. How much will Emerson charge for product A? So what does that mean? We're going to mark it up. Anybody remember? Can anybody explain this problem, Raleigh? What do you think? We're going to add it on, right? So Emerson's wholesale price, what she can buy it for, is $26.50. So if she sells it for that amount, is she going to make any money? No, she's not. So she needs to mark it up, and she's only going to mark it up 30%. So is she going to make a lot of money? She's really not. Most stores mark things up at least 100%. So if they paid $26.50, they would add $26.50 to it. And so that would make the price, what is that? $53. That would make it $50, so they would sell it for $53. Normally, it's at least 100% markup at stores, which is how when they put something on sale and they mark it on sale, they're still making money. So, all right, so how are we going to find 30% of that number? There's two different ways. Somebody tell me how to find 30% of a number. Y'all don't know? You can do the percent proportion. What else could you do? Multiply. Of means to multiply. So I'm just going to say 2650 times 30. And do I need the percent sign? Yes, you do. So it should look like that if you multiply. And so the markup is $7.95. Is that the price tag label she's going to put on it? No. Now what are we going to do? Add $26.50 plus $7.95. So I already have $7.95 in there. I can just hit plus. That means it's going to take the answer, $7.95, and add it to $26.50. And we get $34.45. All right, so that's how much the customer's going to pay. She's going to charge $34.45. How much is her profit? I heard it. How much is the profit? $7.95. That's her profit. So that's the wholesale price she's paying. That's her profit. That's what the customer will pay. If she was selling here in Catoosa County, she'd have to charge another 7.25%, 7.25%. So this wouldn't be the actual final price someone would pay if there was sales tax, but they didn't ask us about sales tax. All right, use the graph to answer the questions. What does the ordered pair 0, 0 represent? 0 days and 0 degrees. Okay, what ordered pair describes the unit rate? 1 and 2. 2 and 6 is a unit rate. So you have to think about it. So if you go to the 1 and you go up, it does not land at an intersection. So it looks like 3, but in order to actually get it correct, I'm going to look at the 2 and the 6. Right? And so how can I tell that the unit rate is 1 and 3 from the 2 and 6? We're going up by 3s. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the ordered pair that describes the unit rate is 1, 3. But I could use the 2 and the 6. Or I could have used the 4 and the 12. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 12 divided by, oh, we already did that one. What 6 divided by 8, or 18 divided by 6 is also 3. So what's the constant proportionality? 3, right? The constant proportionality is 3. I'm multiplying all the days by 3 to get the y. All the x's by 3. So the equation for that is y equals 3 times x. If they asked you a question like that, if they asked you what's the equation that goes with this graph, you should be able to say y equals 3x. And you should be able to say the constant proportionality is a 3. Everybody good with those? Are they getting easier? Yeah, they just take a lot of practice. A lot of practice. Okay, questions about the warm-up? Okay, put it to the side. Let's look at this page that you're working on this week. You are turning this in by Friday for a grade. Go ahead and put your name at the top. You wouldn't believe the number of papers I still have turned in every single week without a name. I'm going to start throwing them away. Put your name at the top. All right, so this side, this is just telling me everything that you know about circles. So in number 1, you are labeling the different parts of this circle. So number 1, you're telling me the vocabulary word for this outside edge. Number 2 is talking about this line that goes all the way across. And number 3, you need the name of this line that goes from the outside to the center point. That's what you're putting right there. All right, 3 things that you know about the radius. You can give me a definition. You can tell me what kind of formulas you use the radius in. You could tell me about the relationship between the radius and the diameter. So 3 things you know about radius. Is everyone going to have the same answers on these? No. There are lots of different things you could tell me about the radius of a circle. You can even talk about that hint with, your hint is like your radius is your right arm. So your diameter would be double, right? So you could talk about a hint. So you could give me formulas here. You could talk about hints that you know. You could give me vocabulary words. I have people that go, I just can't think of anything about the radius. Well, you're going to have to figure it out. What would you tell someone if you were teaching them about a circle? What kinds of things would you tell them about the radius? You're also going to do that for diameter. Now, might some of the things look like some of the things up here? If you're talking about the relationship between the radius and the diameter, might that be one of the same things you talk about down here? Yes. Can you talk about the formulas that you use diameter in? Yes. You could use a definition. These are not difficult. List 3 things that you know about the circumference of a circle. You can give me formulas. You can give me definitions. You can tell me about the relationship between the diameter and the circumference. You can talk about all kinds of things. Questions about this side? I need to be able to read your handwriting. If I cannot read what you have written, it is wrong. I'm not going to come ask you about it. I'm not going to go, oh, it could be right. If I can't tell what your letters and numbers are, it is wrong. No one in this class has a problem to where they cannot write correctly. Questions about that? Okay. All right, here we go. Let's look at the back. For each one of these circles, you are going to give the radius of the circle, the diameter of the circle. You are going to find the area of the circle, and you are going to find the circumference of the circle. You are going to do all 4 of those things. Units matter. If you just have a number on this one without centimeters, it's wrong. Math is attention to detail. Units are part of the answer. If the radius, if I said the radius here is 27 without 27 centimeters, I would say it's 27 what? Coconuts, feet, caterpillars, 27 centimeters. You have to have the unit. One of these units is different than the others. Which one is going to look a little bit different than the other units? Area. Why is area going to be different? Okay, yes, but I'm talking about the actual centimeters. Why is the centimeters going to be different than the centimeters on the others, Camden? It's centimeters squared. This answer should be centimeters squared, where the others are all just centimeters. If you don't square that unit, it is wrong. What should I see at the top of your paper? I should see some formulas. So let's, area equals and circumference equals. Let's come up with some formulas. Use your journal. I want you to use the formula page in the front of your journal and write some formulas on your paper. Right now, you're getting your own formulas. We want to see. You better have them right. We're coming around to look. Get your journal. Use the formula page. Write the formulas on your paper. You've got to be able to find those on your own on Georgia Milestones. Thank you. Anybody else have their progress report? So you could have either of the 2 formulas for circumference, but there's one that's going to be easier since you're writing both radius and diameter. Do you have to have both formulas? No, you don't. You need just one formula for circumference. Is that the word? Show me where that one is written for circumference. Where's circumference? I don't want you using that one. I want you using this one. This one's the one you're going to see on Georgia Milestones. Okay. There we go. Okay. Is that the one you want to use? Is that the easier if you know both of those? It's up to you. I think that one's a little easier. When you know the diameter, I think that one's a little easier. Okay. Yep. Good. Yep. See this one? Yep. You're good. Is that the easier of the 2 if you know both the radius and the diameter? Which one's the easier formula? I feel like maybe that one's a little bit easier than that one. But it's up to you. I just want to make sure that you see both of them. Good. Yep, good. Yep. Do you see the area? you might want to start on that video from Thursday for the notes. Alright, so what are we looking for? Where's the area section on this sheet? Right there, okay. Then now we're talking about circles. So, that formula. Ollie, did you find the other one? Oh, let me see. Good. Everybody good? Okay. All right, so what's the formula for area? Someone tell me the formula for area, Jackson. Yes, pi times radius squared. And what are we going to use for pi? 3.14. 3.14 times the radius squared. And someone tell me for circumference, what are we going to use? Anna? Pi times diameter, so 3.14 times the diameter. Or you could have had circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times what? Radius. Why are these two things the same? You should be able to explain why those two things are the same. Someone tell me why those formulas are going to get you the same answer. It's not hard. Anna. So the pi is the same in both of them. So how is what's left, the diameter, the same thing as 2 times the radius, Camden? Yes, the radius times 2 is the same thing as the diameter. These two things are exactly the same. All right, so go ahead and get started wherever you're at. Remember, if you haven't finished the skills practice from Thursday, that's what you're working on first, and then get it checked before you start this sheet. I am going to, while you get started, I'm going to look for a vocabulary video that helps us with these formulas. And as soon as I get it pulled up, we'll watch that. There'll be a link to it in your Google Classroom, and then you can just keep working.
Let me tell you what makes me so great. The distance from my center to my outside is the craziest. We call that radius. All you need in your life and times is the length of my radius. You need pi. Why? With those two you can find the circumference of the circle, and that's no lie. You can find the area too. Just follow me, do what I do. The circumference is the length all around my outside. Figure it out, just multiply. The radius by 2 by pi. That's the circumference. My oh my. You can see me spitting on the car. Circumference equals 2 pi r. I roll with it, boy, I'm not scared. Area equals pi r squared. You can see me spitting on the car. Circumference equals 2 pi r. I roll with it, boy, I'm not scared.
This is how I remember the formula, because I hear this.